Hi, my name is Sherlyn Dorsey, and I am creator and founder of You're More Than Their Mother, and I teach entrepreneurial moms to reclaim, realign, and rebalance their lives and go after their dreams. How are we? So today, I am talking about procrastination. Give me a second here. I am doing this wonderful scope today from my car, and I want to make sure that I block out as much noise here as possible. So I want to talk to you today about procrastination. And this really came up because of a conversation I had with a close friend of mine. And it really dawned on me that I was a victim of this. And perhaps maybe sometime I still can be, but when I recognize it, I check it right away. But I was a victim of this. But I also have a lot of people who I work with and who I talk to who are victims of chronic procrastination. So not just regular procrastination. And when I say regular, I'm thinking of things like saying, oh, I was going to do the dishes now, but I'll just do them a little bit later on today. Or I was going to make a phone call right now and for my business, and instead of making it at 10 o'clock, I'll make it at 12 o'clock. And then, of course, once you make that recommitment to yourself, doing it. To me, that's a normal amount of procrastination, if you will. And I'm just putting that in general speak, just for the purpose of this example. But when I'm talking, the type of procrastination I'm talking about today is a type of chronic procrastination. And when I say chronic, by my definition, what I mean to that is the kind of procrastination that ends you up overwhelmed, overworked, with anxiety, angry, and really disheveled. Okay, so I was talking to this friend of mine, and they were talking about how they needed to handle some business, some of their personal business, right? And it had to do with getting some type of electronics for them and just making themselves do what they needed to do in order to get this upgrade they needed, and just to get the things that they needed in order to function seamlessly. So as I was telling them the pros and cons of the information that they needed and giving my input on how it is that they can do it going forward or how it is that they can help, I was noticing this pattern about what it was that they were saying as I was talking. And they were saying, oh my goodness, that's a lot of information. Yes, I looked into this and I saw that that was different in this way. And I saw that this has this and that one doesn't, whatever the case may be. So basically, comparatively speaking about the information I was given and information that they had researched. Now, before I go any further, I want to make sure I'm clear that when I share information with people, number one, I'm asked. I am not one who believes in superimposing what it is that I think I know on you. I believe that we are all adults, and if we want to know something, we'll just simply ask, right? So that's when I offer my advice to them and tell them what it is that I know, or just simply share the information that I know. So in this instance, I was simply sharing the information that I know, because the term that the phrase that I've coined is, I'm not looking for any new converts. I don't want to convert you over to what I'm doing. I'm not trying to convince you that what I'm doing should be what you're doing. If I tell you something and that's something you want to do, great. If I tell you something and you don't do it at all, I don't have any attachment to that. Your life is your own, right? And it took me a while to get there. I wasn't always that way, but I'm very, very steadfast in that now. So anyway, with all that being said, as we began to toggle back this information and she began to share with me her research and what she had done, I simply said, okay, so what is it that you want to do, that you'd like to do? Her answer to me was, I just don't know. I have to put that on the back burner. I don't know. I'll figure something out later on. Now, whereas to me, that isn't harmful in and of itself. And when I say harmful, meaning create a stack of overwhelm. I'm not saying that one instance would or anything like that, but I know this person very well. And this is what they do to a lot of their life and a lot of situations it is that they need to handle. So what I submitted to her was that life was not going to slow down. And let me back up. I not only submitted that to her, but I submit that to you in light of what it is that I'm talking about today, procrastination. Life will not slow down. Life will not give you a break. Life will not time out, and life will not pause for you to get something else in order or to do something else. You may have heard the term leaders make decisions. Leaders make quick decisions, to be exact. And that is very true. The thing that's holding us back in life and in business, and I know you thought I forgot about my two-prong approach, but this one just coincides beautifully for me. But the thing that holds us back in life and business is procrastination, chronic procrastination. We are always sitting something on the back burner because we want to compare it or put it up against a few more things. And whereas research is nice, there is a such thing as analysis paralysis. And we get so far caught up into that we end up doing nothing. So now we have this stack of things, proverbially speaking, of course, that it is we need to get to, and it's getting bigger and bigger. In the meanwhile, your present life is requiring you to be there. So it's not like you cannot handle your business right now to go back to that, especially at the height it's at. Because sometimes we'll have so much to do and so many things on the back burner, if you will, that we become overwhelmed again and do nothing. So what my suggestion to you today is, so now that I've gotten that out, and hopefully you understand how those two things coincide in life and in business, hopefully you understand that. What's the solution? Where do we go from here with that? The very first thing that I always share with people when they're trying to learn to basically stop procrastinating, or essentially what it boils down to is what most common people call time management. I won't get into my whole explanation of what I feel about time management, but let me call for the purpose of time, task management. What I tell people that they need to do in instances of that, chronic procrastination, time running into each other, time running out before you're able to get what you need done, what you need to institute into your life is what's called task management. And what that means is you have a list of everything it is that you need to do. Be it something that you write, which would be ideal, but if you're like me, you're a mom on the go and you don't always write it down. But you have that information stored into your head because some of it is routine. What you need to do is to create parameters around your time. So for example, if I get up in the morning and if the first thing it is that I do after I've done my morning rituals of meditation and all that kind of stuff in terms of business, if I want to first check my emails, opposed to me just putting on my list, check emails, I write down time around that I'll allot to checking my emails. So from 9 a.m. until 10 o'clock a.m., I'll check and respond to emails. That's my routine. So when 10 o'clock comes, I don't care how many I haven't opened. I don't care how many come in. I stop with the emails. Then I always give myself a 5-minute grace period in between. So if I have to get up and go and take care of myself for any reason, something personal, whatever it is I need to do, I allot that time. A 5-minute transition time is what I call it. And then I may have from 10:05 until 10:35, I may make phone calls. Right? So I make those phone calls and I commit to that and I don't do anything else during that time. From there, I'll add my transition time and then I may add in some personal things. So I may add in from 10:40 until 11:40, I may do housework. And specifically, I may commit that time to break that into 20-minute increments. I may do dishes during that time. I may do laundry during that time. I may spread my bed during that time, whatever. I may vacuum, whatever the case may be, and on and on and on. I think you get the point. But what I created is a task management around my time. And what that allows me to do is to take care of what it is that I need to do at hand. That way, if something is added, I'm able to incorporate that into my day or pause and get right back to my regularly scheduled program, if you will, and still get what it is that I need done. When I instituted that into my life, I began to get more done. So I accomplished way more goals. I hit my targets much sooner. I became more reliable. That increased reliability also increased my trustworthiness with other people and clients because they could count on me from that time or at the time that I said I would be there or do whatever it is that needed to be done or have it completed by. And I could do it with the least amount of stress. So I hope that makes sense to you, and I hope that you're able to get some nuggets from there. I hope it meets you right where you are, as usual, and up-levels you into where it is that you want to be. So thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you spending some time with me. I will see you here on Periscope Live Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Again, Monday through Friday. So again, thanks so much. I appreciate you. I'll see you next time. And until then, it's time to move beyond everyone else's expectations of who you ought to be and become the woman you thought you could be. Bye.